Hey Bearcats, it's Mirsayah Wasnuk, and I'm a student at Lindner College of Business and the president for Net Impact UC Consulting. I am super excited to bring you Sustainability in Business, a Bearcats Mean Business student series. This will be a 4-episode series exploring key topics in sustainability and how you can apply them to your future career goals in business. Today, my guest is founding president of Net Impact UC, Ben Booker. Ben is here to discuss his journey into the sustainability industry and how his role within Net Impact UC and overall campus involvement has shaped his career post-graduation. Ben, thanks so much for being here.
Mirsayah, thanks for having me. Excited to be back on campus and then inside the Lindner College of Business where I called home.
Yes, we are super pumped to have you here. So my first question, can you tell us about what you studied at UC and how it influenced your decision to pursue a career in sustainability?
Yeah, totally. So I came to UC knowing exactly what I wanted to study. Within Lindner, I double majored in finance and real estate. And then at DAP, I pursued an urban agriculture certificate. That was really inspired by a vision that I had for the built environment and what the future of sustainability looked like in the world around us. I believed in the power that urban agriculture could have on the communities that participated in it by really kind of changing the systems, our food systems really, of sourcing locally and producing sustainably using more energy efficient methods, both whether that's vertical farming as well as market gardening in high density environments.
That's amazing. What motivated you to co-found Net Impact UC, and what were some of the initial challenges that you faced?
So I was really inspired to be a part of the founding team of Net Impact here at UC through my previous involvements and then also the intersection of my academic path. So I got really involved in a variety of other student organizations, whether that was Bearcats Media or UC Real Estate Association. And through those experiences, I mostly served as treasurer, but I had the opportunity to see the impact of student leadership both on the students themselves and those student leaders and how it really shaped them as community members, but also the influence that they had on and off campus using the student voice to enact change. And for Net Impact, I really was inspired to have an outlet that brought together all of these principles that I truly believed in, and that really was the power of business as a force for good. And not only did we have this incredible mission that our other co-founders and members believed in, but it was an opportunity to work together with our friends to do cool projects and actually have this experiential learning and leadership training while going to school.
How did Net Impact UC shape your understanding of sustainability and your own personal career aspirations?
Wow. I mean, it shaped my entire understanding of sustainability. So much of what I knew around sustainability was through self-education and kind of extracurricular opportunities prior to Net Impact. Within the Lindner College of Business, there weren't any direct opportunities to kind of dive into sustainability. There wasn't any curriculum, and there wasn't any co-curricular, extracurricular opportunities. So I was learning what sustainability really was on the go alongside my members building Net Impact, where as we were building our programs across education, career development, consulting, and innovation, we were bringing in speakers and workshops and all other types of engagements that while here I was creating and developing these programs, it was at that same time I was taking in a lot of this new information that was teaching me about sustainability. So it was really learning on the go, but it accelerated that learning experience by being on the front lines of figuring it out. But doing that alongside some of the top industry professionals in our region that were working across sustainability industries and sectors.
That's awesome. So a lot of us have heard the word sustainability, but what is your personal definition of sustainability? What does it mean to you?
I got to think on that one. Sustainability does mean a lot of different things to different people. And for me, sustainability is a way of life. It's less so about one set of practices or one set of frameworks developed by the UN, and it's more about our natural systems and humans being in alignment with those natural systems. We are just, the species that happens to be conscious, but so much of our natural world and other species have developed these evolutionary solutions that exist for millions of years. And to me, that's sustainability. And for applied to humans and the work that we get to do, it's how do we design our systems, our businesses, our organizations, our communities around those realities where we can create these movements and energies that align with that and uplift and regenerate the natural ecosystem while also creating immense wealth for humans and opportunity.
So, as you know, there are plenty of majors within Lindner College of Business studying all different things, and all of us have our own career aspirations. What advice would you give students that might not have direct careers in line with sustainability? How does developing green skills or learning about topics in sustainability, how will that help them pursue their careers?
Absolutely. So our resources are finite on this planet, and that kind of comes back to my definition of sustainability and what it means to me. Green skills are going to continue to be in demand because we're going to continue to have to think about there's a scarcity problem as far as the resources go. So how do we think more efficiently? How do we minimize waste? How do we maximize output holistically within those realities? And I think that's where green skill development is so critical. And there's kind of two sides to it. It comes back to that thinking pattern and that way of thinking sustainably. But then there's actually some of those technical skills that apply to the systems that we have now, whether that is carbon emission or greenhouse gas accounting and emissions reporting, or on the other side of things is that a life cycle analysis and understanding the product development journey and where sustainability comes into those decisions. So there's so many different applications to green skills, and I really think there's so many opportunities for students to provide value to their organizations at any level in an organization through green skills. And it really, where we're going with this is it's a strategic positioning. It is not just a small initiative of a green team. It's, the future of our organizations. Sustainability is going to be near the top. Whether or not it happens in this decade, we're going towards that. So I think that is the long-term value proposition of developing green skills.
So, on a holistic level, geared specifically towards business students, what would be the 3 top green skills to develop for future business leaders?
Yeah, for business students, when I think about the top 3 skills that would be useful, they're probably going to be Lean Six Sigma, understanding the circular loop and circular economy, and performing waste audits. While those are the 3 technical skills that I think are really important, I do want to highlight 2 other ones. One being stakeholder engagement. Sustainability is a very collaborative effort, and understanding how to navigate each individual stakeholder and then the collective is really important. And then kind of at the top and pinnacle of that is the communication of all of those things and the ability to really tailor to those stakeholders what you're trying to communicate and why it's important to each of them.
For those of you who don't know what the circular loop economy is, we currently live in a system when products do get developed where we take the materials from the ground, we make the product with those materials, we use the product, and then we dispose of it. Looking at it through the circular loop economy theory is that we would do the same process. So we'd take the resources from the ground, make something out of the resources with the ground, use the product, and then we would reuse it, and it would be broken apart maybe and sold to other businesses to then make other things. So instead of creating so much waste, we would reuse things. From your experience, what are some key opportunities for students to make an impact during their time at UC?
Wow. I think there's so many opportunities for students to have an impact while at the university. It ranges from mentorship and menteeship. I think connecting with your professors is profoundly important as a student. I was that kid that talked to my teachers. I raised my hands, I stayed after, I asked questions, and I built those relationships, and I maintain those today. Whether I see them around campus when I'm back for certain engagements or out in the community. These are really smart people that are putting out publications and have a lot of interesting information that help move projects forward, and I've really valued that. I'd also say extracurricular involvement, student involvement in organizations is so profound. For me now as an entrepreneur and CEO, being a student leader, that was my first time being a CEO. I thought of all of the clubs that I was a part of and that I led. That was me being a CEO. I made decisions like an executive would. I built my teams and my systems like an executive would. And through that experience, it's really a testing ground for yourself as a leader, as a manager, as an operator. And that is invaluable because you can't mess up. You are literally paying to play those games. And then the third aspect is kind of bringing all of the student experience together around your passions. When you do that and you kind of create this vision for the change that you want to make, whether that's on campus or off campus, the student voice is so important to our stakeholders here at the university. We pay the bills as students. Our tuition is what pays all of us to be here. And through that, we have leverage in this institution to share our ideas, to have a voice. And I would advise any student that wants to see something change to go for it. Ask questions, build genuine relationships that are not transactional but transformational. And through that, you can really have a profound student experience.
So Ben, could you tell us a little bit about what you're doing now and how your experience at UC led you there?
Totally. So post-graduation, I had the opportunity to co-found the Urban Farming Initiative, and I worked on that organization full-time for about 10 months prior to exiting. And then kind of around that same time, I had the opportunity to rejoin the UC team as the small business coordinator at the 1819 Innovation Hub, as well as serve as the entrepreneur in residence here at the Lindner College of Business through the Center for Entrepreneurship. And in those roles, I'm building opportunities, programs, and pathways for both students, alumni, and the greater Cincinnati ecosystem to really develop small businesses, whether that's just starting but also scaling. What that looks like right now is starting with students, building programs in food and beverage, e-commerce, and product entrepreneurship. Kind of what that looks like and how students can get involved in those programs is if you want to start a food or a beverage company, we have a partnership with Finlay Market and Finlay Kitchen through their Finlay Learn program where students have access to some of the world-class educational entrepreneurial opportunities to learn from their network of hundreds of years of institutional knowledge on running food businesses. And from an e-commerce standpoint, if you're a student that wants to start, whether that's digital marketing services, drop shipping, or something else online, we have a network of alumni and professionals that are looking to help those students get started. And then we have a world-class design school where we are building out some of the most innovative, cool projects and products, and tapping into that and partnering across campus to create those pipelines of products is really, really exciting. And really, my relationships here at UC is kind of what led me to this role. So when I was on campus, I was a student worker for the Center for Entrepreneurship, and I did that for over 2.5 years. And it kind of comes back to those transformational relationships and not transactional. Really investing into a shared mission and building trust amongst leaders in your institution and in your organization that allow you to go out and do innovative new things is really what led me to this role. And outside of my time at UC and outside of my current role, I'm still an entrepreneur. What that looks like is building my own ventures, but also being a consultant. So I have a variety of consulting clients that I provide small business management services to, strategic advice, and other services. And then I'm building a men's apparel studio and showroom down in Findlay Market. That's a brick and mortar storefront. And then also building my own real estate investment portfolio. So I'm definitely staying busy post-graduation, but it's been a blast.
Can you share a specific challenge or roadblock you encountered in your career journey and how you managed to overcome it?
I would say being an entrepreneur is hard. You have to wear a lot of hats, and you have to be accountable. And that accountability is lonely, and there's no one else to tell you to do it. And one thing that I've learned through that experience is, yeah, you got to work hard, and accepting that from an ego standpoint, knowing that we all have the same 24 hours, and it's okay. What are you gonna do? If you have a challenge, you can't run from it. You just have to get in front of it sooner rather than later. But within that same vein, you have to give yourself grace. You have to give your employees grace. You have to give your partners grace, because we're on this journey together, and it's that journey continues and it never ends. Learning is one of the most permanent things in life, and if you forget to learn, then you're not having that much fun anymore. So those would be some of the biggest challenges that I've been facing, but really looking forward to overcoming and continuing to overcome.
My thanks to Ben Booker for joining me today and sharing his journey into the intersection of sustainability and business. The next episode of Sustainability in Business, a Bearcats Mean Business student series episode, will be focused on sustainability at UC. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who's ready to take the leap at Lindner. Your feedback helps more Bearcats discover the show. Until next time, keep showing the world how Bearcats mean business.